There we go. It is
Hello. Hello, and welcome to the Black Light Podcast. My name is Jeff. Joining me, as always, Josh. Joining me.
Just had a heated discussion of Overwatch, but hey, you probably hear that later.
Oh, the fury will flow.
Don't worry, it's going to be on the after show. You'll love it. You'll love it.
Glory, disappointment, and face bombs.
There's some knife fights there, a little. I mean, out of anything we have a knife fight over, it was fucking Overwatch.
Joining me also this week is Allan.
I have, the vitriol will flow today, my boys. There'll be a lot of beeps and boops and whistles and things in the background about what's happened.
Oh, a lot of bleeping.
So,
This would be a Jerry Springer show, basically, all over again.
okay, so. Okay, also joining us this week is Ben. Ben.
Hello again.
How are you?
And everybody's angry about something that I have no idea about, so.
Let's just say you being in the dark is a better idea.
All right. I know about what's pissing you off, but I'm not entirely sure.
Well, it's Overwatch, so it could be literally anything.
This is unrelated to the gaming world. This is related to a thing that's happened over in the homeland, England, as it is, or United Kingdom. That is a thing I got to talk about and rage about for a couple minutes. Like it's a rant that is inbound, but I don't want to start on the high note. I don't want to climax early. I want this to be a slow, pleasant build-up to me raging. So we're gonna start somewhere else. Josh, how was the Magic tournaments?
I went to a huge Magic the Gathering tournament in Edmonton. That was it was featured by Face to Face, the online Magic Gathering card distribution service, which was actually a pretty sweet event. It was nicely organized, and it was actually a lot of people showed up. It was like over 200 people.
I'm super waiting for the butt to drop.
So the thing is, I didn't go for the main event. I went for trading in a bunch of shitty cards I don't want, and also I played a bunch of side events. So the main event there was Modern, and Modern is just, hey, everything from brand new shit all the way back to, I think it's Dark Steel or whatever a set's called, all the way back to a certain set. You could do whatever with these cards. You could use them all. There's some certain cards are banned, but that's like this entire selection of library you can use. And it's like, hey, that's cool. But the thing was, me looking at my decks and thinking of what other people would have for their decks, they would just simply dump so much more money into their decks compared to what I would usually dump into a deck, which is like maybe $50, maybe $60, where other guys would be like, oh man, I dumped like 5 G's in this fucking deck. And it's like, what the fuck? You can't compare to that fucking shit. So really, I just decided to stay out of it and just studied what people played. And I think it was a better decision because, oh god, the shit people were playing were just retarded. Doing a lot of weird shit going on other than just me playing my weird shit. But yeah, like a nice giant event. There was a Modern tournament going on, so I decided to not play in that tournament, but to trade in a whole bunch of my cards that I just had in storage that I was like, man, I'm not looking at these cards twice. I'm just gonna, someone told me that, hey, at this event, there's gonna be 2 guys on 2 tables, and all they do through the entirety of the event is sort cards. just so they could price them out and be like, okay, so this entire stash of cards be like $38, or oh, this stack of cards be like $600 or whatever. And it's like, oh, that's cool. So that's all they do for the entire event is just sort through cards. So I decided to bring all those cards I just never look at twice, bring it to the event. It's just so you can sort through and give me a value on them. And I actually made some decent money. It was 2 like shoebox Omni boxes full of cards, like chock full. And I got about, what was it, $38, which was not too bad for 2 shoe boxes. Just full of fucking commons and uncommons. So it was like, that's not too bad. And I think there was a couple of staple cards in there to bumped up the value a bit. So trading those shit in was actually pretty good because I got some really nice cards out of it too, just to upgrade my decks and stuff like that.
So basically, Josh, you
yeah, I did things, and also I played a bunch of side events. And the dumb thing is that I played in a commander side event. I played in 2 of them. The first one I didn't win because someone literally went into a huge combo on turn like 3 to 4, which is retarded because it means everyone else on the table could barely play anything, and this guy just went off on like 3 to 4, and it's like great. So he won the game. So when it came around to playing the second game, I won, which was great. Because everyone on the table was playing either a variation of a white deck or a black deck. And I decided to play Animar. And Animar has protection from both colors. So it's like, hey, I got a big creature you can't do shit about.
It's a really good dance that Josh is going on right now.
Yeah.
So basically, there's someone who's me, who is actually really, really fucking funny that I'm just like, boop, boop. I play red, white. Try and stop me, nuke.
Yeah, pretty much.
I really love blue, but like, I feel like if you don't play blue a very specific way, it's just not good. And I don't play it that way, so I don't make good decks.
Well, okay, that's the thing is if you make the deck the way that you're supposed to. And that's the thing is if you actually make the deck the way you're supposed to, where you're gonna like win stuff and be like funny and clever, you're an asshole. And nobody wants to play with you because no one gets to do anything except
exactly.
You. And that's the reason why I hate blue. Like, and that's the thing is, I made my red deck to target down blue black and blue white players because they like to go, you don't get to do anything because I said so, and I hate people like that. So I punish
my
people
blue black
like
waterfall. Just send your whole deck to your graveyard. It was so much fun.
I'm going to give your deck diarrhea.
One of my friends hated that I did that so much. He made a deck literally in secret just to play me versus that deck. So that he's just like, "Oh yeah, you just milled 3/4 of my library to the battlefield to the graveyard. Well, I'm going to exile half of that and then just play the rest on the field right now."
Yep. Delver is fantastic.
What makes it even funnier for me is I'm playing against this one blue player, and I got sick of it. I got up. I said, "Okay, I'm out of the game. I'll be back in a little while. I just need to take a break from the game." I went up front to the counter of Warp 2, which is a place I usually go to play Commander. And I'm just stopping, standing on the counter, and I'm just like fuming over like, okay, how do I beat this blue player? Because he just mills me every turn he does it. So I just looked down into the showcase, and I just scrolled with my finger across all of it, and all I just saw was Kozilek. And I was like, I'm buying Kozilek.
Yep.
And I just put him in my deck, and the next game he's like, I'm going to mill out 43 cards out of your deck. I'm like, okay. And I pulled off the first 10. I flipped them over, and I'm like, oh look, there's Kozilek. He's like, why'd you put that in that deck? Does it matter? And I just started shuffling my deck, and I put it down, and I'm like, is that all you're doing? He's like, shit. And it came to my turn, and I'm like, I play Assemble Legion. You have a clock. And he's like, fuck. Because he spent all his mana the previous turn because he's like, I'm going to kill you with this because I know you've only got like 30 cards left in your deck because I've been milling you out nonstop. And so I'm going to mill you out like to guarantee you. I'm going to overkill it. And all the rest of the players were just shuffling their decks, getting ready to go. And I just go, okay, first 10 cards. Oh, look, Kozilek, thank you for giving me back my deck. And he's like, what? I went from a 30-card deck to a 87-card deck in a single
shit.
moment. And he was just like, "Oh no,
Oh no.
Yep. Yeah, milling is also another scenario of like, fuck, I hope I can fall into a card to help me win right now because this is shitty. But at the same time, I have a bunch of different decks that I like to, throw out there and like make and like, hey, does this work? And it's like, oh, it doesn't really work, but hey, this idea is like, it's pretty cool. So I'll try to build off of this idea. And I have one current deck that I have that I think it's like almost kind of modern, like maybe competitive and modern, is trying to make an allies deck. But I don't mean new allies. I mean old allies. They came out when the Zendikar first came out. And old allies has a broken ability where whenever an ally comes into play, it has a triggered ability of putting a 1/1 counter on it. And also usually has some sort of bonus buff to it. It could be anything from like giving it vigilance, giving it first strike, giving it lifelink, making it indestructible, giving it protection from any color. The list goes on and on. So I'm kind of just, I made this deck on the whim, and I was playing in a modern tournament, or playing just like a local modern game over at a card store we have in Leduc, and I was like, hey, this is actually pretty competent. And I kept it at a low casting cost because, anything 4 or higher seems to be, you just can't quite get there. And I'm like, hey, if I just make it just a bit better of like, putting some flash tokens or something like, or putting some like cards that copy other cards, this could be really, really good deck. So I'm like, I think I'm almost there. I think I can make this like a really cheesy deck. Oh, but yeah, like almost play any color of a deck for my taste, but I just never seem to play black. Just it comes down to the point of like, I just don't know what to do with black. It's like, I guess I kill myself to win.
Yeah, you murder yourself. You stab yourself in the eye in order to win.
Unless you play Infect, and then I hate you.
So don't play Infect.
No, I just hate Infect players because it's just like, oh, I literally don't do any damage to you, but you die anyway. And I'm just like, that's dumb. And you die in like half the time too. It's just like, oh, you have 10 tokens, you're dead. It doesn't matter how much health you have, you're just dead.
There's a bad mechanic they introduced, and it's a mechanic they should never introduce in the first place. And holy shit, it's so dumb.
Well, I think it should have been like, maybe not half your health, maybe 2/3 of your health, but whatever.
I mean, the number sounds sound, ironically, but like it's just way too easy to just do 10 in like 3 turns.
Yeah, I mean, if it's for very specific decks are built around that to like buff the shit out of them for 1 turn. And it's in the early game, so you don't really probably have much to protect yourself with. And it's like, and get like, I don't know, 5 infect right now. And it's like, oh shit.
Yeah, and if there's a way to like clear it with something, that'd be cool. But I don't think there is anything.
Yeah, well, there is some cards out there that's like, hey, you can't get counters, and any counters can be placed on you can never happen. And I think there's another card that's like, hey, you can remove these counters, but I forget what the name is or anything. I know it's a newer card, but it's like those other cards exist. You got to find them, basically.
Well, that shows how out of date I am with Magic, because the last time I played was literally when Infect came out. And that's the last time I played seriously. I've dabbled lately, but I don't know anything, so I'm just like kind of looking at cards and I'm just like information overload. It's just like steam coming out of my ears because I'm just like all these new fucking mechanics, and I'm just like, well, shit.
I would say don't worry about the new mechanics until they just crop up naturally. Then you start learning off of that. But like if you're like an eager beaver of like, oh, I should at least know what's in the new set, then that's fine.
But if you're going up, never going to give Magic my money anytime soon. So that's the thing. Yeah.
Well, I'm sitting beside stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks of cards, so I'm probably gonna put these in a vault sometime soon. I don't know.
Josh has already like said.
I have problems.
Times.
Okay.
Josh has already said multiple times that if I burn his Magic collection with a flamethrower, he will kill me.
I've turned into a vigilante.
I'm surprised you just
I will
didn't
turn
say
it-
that, like, there's a special place in hell for people like you.
I would basically turn into a vigilante, murdering other bad people who would hurt people's collective giant collections. Specifically that scenario. So I don't get called very often, but when I do, people's brains explode. Just uppercut and head comes right off.
Anyways, we have to move on to a new topic.
Yeah.
And this one, I expect a lot of anger, hatred, a lot of sadness. GPP has gone into effect, guys.
What is it again?
So basically, NVIDIA is basically making add-in board partners remove gaming-associated brands with other products so that they're only associated with NVIDIA products.
So when I pick up the graphics card, it's not going to have a free game with
No,
it?
it's not going to have like a Republic of Gamers. You're not going to be able to get a Republic of Gamers graphics card or a Republic of Gamers motherboard or a Aurora's motherboard or Aurora's graphics card that isn't from NVIDIA.
Oh,
Makes sense, eh?
Is that
okay.
really that bad?
No.
Because I mean, they kind of like upsell the price because of the name on them sometimes. And I mean, and then it's just, and they're like, oh, it's, a special one. And it's like, is it though?
I don't think it's a big deal.
Yeah, I personally don't think it's a big deal, but it's just like, I don't buy things for the brand.
Here,
Like, I pretty much just like, what one has the best, like, consistency, and like what ones don't break or people get pissed off with, and like don't cost me an extra $20.
well, here's my thing is that usually, like, when these brands are associated with a piece of hardware or something like that, that hardware usually is improved in some significant way, shape, or form. So, like, when there is a Republic of Gamers motherboard or something like that, usually Asus slaps on a bunch of extra features and stuff like that. Usually more like overclocking features and stuff like that. But you get a little bit more with that. And then they make that same motherboard without those features, and it's about $200 cheaper.
I see.
Yes. So, for people like me and stuff like that, who, like, love Republic of Gamers as a brand, and will buy, like, parts because they say Republic of Gamers on them and stuff like that, like, for me, it hurts. But, like, for people like other people and stuff like that, who are just like, I need a motherboard, they're not going to care. And so, I don't think it's a big deal, but I do think that there is a little bit of, like, little things.
It's kind of a douche move, I admit.
Yeah. It's like, did NVIDIA build Republic of Gamers? No. Did they certainly contribute to its success? Not really. That's from the fans, that's from the company and stuff like that. So, for somebody to take that away, I kind of am like, no.
I mean, you could always jump ship to AMD instead then.
Yeah, but... yeah. Oh, I don't think it's a big... I think that this is going to be something that is going to change. It's like GameWorks, though, where it's like, whenever there's a GameWorks game, I better not buy it. And now I'm like, hey...
I'm like, well, I just hope that I can buy a graphics card at a decent price in the future.
That's another issue. That's another issue that I would be sad about. I would be sad about.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting.
I'm glad I got my 1060 when I did.
I almost got a 1080.
Oh boy.
Because sad things happen.
Well, it can happen.
Fuck miners. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, let's talk about something else now.
No, we're not going to talk about that rant yet. We're going to talk about. Okay, so I had a moment of a euphoria this week after all the bullshit that happened.
Allan was creaming in his pants, everyone.
I did. I stayed up till 2 a.m. to watch this video that they announced.
He just did it. He
jizzed in my pants. No, so
and what video is this?
Games Workshop has been my crack dealer for the past 10 years. So now
he's just been injecting that that grounded up plastic models that he got from Josh into his veins.
Josh doesn't play. We both know Josh doesn't have the money to play this game.
I know, but Josh does the same thing with Amiibos.
I'm sitting here looking at the. I'm reading the Adepticon notes of here's the new announcement of what models are coming out, the next codexes and stuff like that. They announced a new Imperial Knight that I'm like, yo, that's really cool. And I'll get the videos for you guys so you guys can quickly watch them in the background while I'm talking about this. And I'm super, super excited. I'm like, yes, these are really cool looking models. And I'm reading through the article. It's just a nice, quiet little article that they're just talking about stuff like the new set of models that are coming out, the new Cthulhu-esque elves that are coming out for Age of Sigmar and stuff like that. And then at the end of the article, there is this little one-line quip that says, "Oh, and by the way," and then there's this video. This video immediately linked afterwards. And I was on Reddit at the time, and I just quickly glanced, I was just quickly grazing through the thing, and I saw that, and I clicked the video because I was like, "There's no way that's a thing, is it?" And then the video starts, and I just see "You've been waiting," and it's just like one of my girls. I was like, "No way!" And
Jeff's gonna get bed into Warhammer 40K, guys.
Yep, you got Jeff's getting into 440K because Plastic Sisters of Battle are on their way. Mind you, you've got a year before they come out at the most because you've got about a year or so because
you have a year to get back into War Machine.
You have hopefully War Machine gets better for you before you have to get into this crack session of a game.
War Machine and it are very good games.
But that's the thing is this announcement yesterday. The community, they had made the joke of yeah, it's a really big community, and a lot of people were like, yeah, watch them announce Plastic Sisters of Battle, and then some people were like, seriously, and they were like, no, we're joking, and then the next morning, the few people who said that were like, holy shit, we were wrong, we're so sorry, this is real, oh my god, this is great, and it was the community has never been so happy in my I've never seen the community so yes. In my life, where they've been, it's such a loud, long, and hard ecstasy moment, and I'm like, just give us the Plastic Sisters, and they've announced that no, while we're going along and doing their production in the background, we'll be keeping you guys up to date, we'll be doing weekly updates and stuff like that. Oh, I'm excited because they've shown off a bunch of really new cool stuff that it's coming out. Oh yeah.
So, Allan, it's safe to say that you creamed your pants?
I creamed my pants when I watched the Sisters of Battle announcement trailer of new Plastic Sisters. Because that was a thing that we were all like, yeah, Plastic Sisters. And then a lot of us had just kind of resigned ourselves to just no, it's not
never happening.
And then this happened where we were all thinking that we were going to get a Primarch announcement of a Primarch or something like that. And oh, dude, we were so happy. The community has never been so happy to be wrong in our lives. I'm actually gonna go to Reddit real quick for 40K and just look at see if they've posted I'm gonna see if anybody's got a. But yeah, no, it's just oh my god, I'm excited because oh man. I
know absolutely nothing about any of this. I just play Vermintide, and that's pretty much it.
No worries. Oh no, and that's the thing is I had a the night that happened. I was just sitting down playing my game, relaxing, doing what I normally do, and then I just like I couldn't sleep the rest of the night after the announcement happened. So like I was very much considering jumping on and playing Vermintide for like 6 hours when that happened. But I knew better.
1 or 2?
Both.
Okay.
I have Vermintide. I think we have a group of 3 now, maybe 4, depending on what's going on.
Yeah, because I bought Vermintide too, and I'm either an idiot.
Vermintide 2 is fun.
It's a good game. It's a good game. You know, it's not the worst thing I've ever played, but you know what? A little bit of room for improvement here and there, but it's okay.
There's only like from what I've seen with Vermintide 2, there's only a few things.
Legendary mode.
Okay.
A little busted.
Okay, so here's the thing about Legendary loot. Like, the loot system actually, like, the way the loot system works is it depends upon your level. You can't go, like, you can only get a bit higher than what your level is. You need to grind. And what some people have been recommending is you don't do any, don't, like, if you have to, save your loot boxes till later on. And then open them when you reach like level 50 with your character, or level 6 or 7 with your character, and then open them there.
Well, I wish I knew that, because I literally was just thrown in and told, "Hey, open your loot boxes as soon as you can."
No, that's not how that works. And it is a bit of a dumb mechanic. I do agree there, but like at the same time, I know what they're trying to do.
And okay, so can I talk about Vermintide?
Yes, well, that's the reason why we moved on to that topic, Jeff.
Okay, I like Vermintide. Everything I wanted from Left 4 Dead, and then some. The only thing that's missing from it is a coach. It needs more coach.
More coach?
How's the
From Left 4 Dead 2?
Oh,
Coach and Ellis are the 2 of the best characters.
then just play the dwarf and get somebody to play the wood elf, and you get that conversation. You get those kind of jokes.
That's what I was doing last night. It's still, it needs more coach. It needs a black football player coach.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
It would be hilarious.
No.
Somebody mod in coach from Left 4 Dead.
Please don't.
We need the Florida diversity quotas. We need the black man.
Oh, dude. You want to get me angry.
No, let's not get Allan angry yet.
Oh.
That was the point, was to push the button.
I'm gonna say this right now, is that like I really dislike the Pyromancer as a character. I think she's flawed. I wanted a beam, not a fucking like, hey, fireball. Hey, fireball. Like, I prefer the elf because she's more like you can just spray arrows. It's great.
You gotta wait to get the other staffs then.
Yeah.
Because the bolt staff, if you like left click, you like rapid fire fireballs. And like you can do one big one, like you can headshot stuff with. So like that's pretty good. I don't know. She has a bunch of different cool staffs. She has a flamethrower staff.
I also found,
she's my main, so like I'm kind of biased. But
I'm actually looking forward to finally unlocking Ironbreaker with my dwarf guy, because like I'm not playing much right now because I'm still like I just got off my big Dark Souls kick because I finally beat that this week, and I'm just like I'm gonna relax from playing like group games for a little while because
Rory drove you insane.
No, Rory didn't drive me insane. We actually had a pretty fun time, and but the thing is when I beat the game, I was like not exactly like, because we finished one boss, and like Rory like stopped and he looked at it, like looked at the clock. He's like, we could probably beat this game tonight. I'm like, really? And he's like, yep. I'm like, okay, I guess we're gonna beat it tonight. He's like, okay. So we did. We just promptly beat the game. Just left.
Oh, that picture is great. Anyways, I like everything about Vermintide. I love that game's aesthetic and stuff like that. It's cool. Like that game just like seems like so crazy, like free steampunk. So, like, of course I love it and stuff like that. I love the elves. I love the chaos guys. It's just good. It's good to go balls deep into a Left 4 Dead clone again. Unlike Siege, which is like every single time I go balls deep into that game, apparently I'm like a monster and apply Dragon Ops to the back of friends' heads. Am I dead?
No, we're just silent. I got some questions to ask about Vermintide 2. Because in Vermintide 1, it was a pretty decent game. I think my only problems with it was your speed of walking everywhere. And I do mean you walk everywhere. It's like, couldn't we pick up the pace just a bit? Because it felt like going 20 feet takes 5 minutes. And I'm like, it shouldn't take 5 fucking minutes to go 20 feet. Like, jeez.
I would say that's still a problem.
It feels a little faster, but there are triggers for move speed. It's not much. It's like probably at most 20%. Yeah. But I mean, like, you can really start whipping around at 20%. But I mean, I don't know. It feels like it doesn't feel as slow, and the levels are designed a lot better. So, like, it's not as corridory.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there was a good couple of points of, like, walking to point A to point B, and it just felt like it took 5 minutes to do anything. And it's like, couldn't this just be, tighter together, or us walking faster? Because, oh, God.
No, Josh. No, you're not allowed to run faster. You have to...
I just want to run. Just give me sprint. Just give me sprint.
That's the enemy's job.
Give me stamina meter.
Josh wants to play escape instead, and then he can run faster.
Just give me a sprint.
I feel like, though, if you added sprint, though, nobody would ever get hit. Yeah. Like, you kind of have to be limited by how fast you can move. And, I mean, can you really sprint that fast in, like, full armor? Like, think of it, the dwarf sprinting. The fact that the dwarf has the same move speed in his armor as, like, the humans do is kind of impressive on its own.
No. Okay, actually, I can explain that with in-canon reason. And that's the thing that's the reason why I love this game is dwarf armor in that universe is actually not all that heavy. It's like...
Really?
No, that's the thing. Their standard armor is mithril. Their standard armor. So they have already, like, they're wearing, like, Kevlar armor that weighs the same as, like, leather armor for wood elves and stuff like that. That's the part. And then, like, the moment you go up to, like their more actual, like, more, like, rare, more, like, complex stuff, that's when you actually notice, like, no, their armor, like, when you go to those two types of sets, they're a lot heavier, but holy cow, they offer more protection. That's the thing is, like, mithril is pretty much standard. It's bare minimum. And the only thing that isn't, the only dwarf character model that should be faster than the elves in this game is the Slayer, and the one that should be slower is the Ironbreaker, but they won't factor that in. Because
I didn't know that. Interesting.
Yep.
Yeah, it was just frick. That's the one thing. It was walking speed, and another thing was I think I played that game at least 5 separate times. I should play the game more. But another thing was the loot drop system was dice rolling, and it used actual physics for the dice rolling.
They fixed that now. It's not dice rolling.
Okay, because like I was like, oh, this is neat, but it's like it gets to a point of like, I hope I don't fuck myself by accident and not get something good. Because frick.
Yep. Pretty much.
There's still RNG loot, but at least you get 3 items per run.
Yep.
And you can increase the rarity level by doing like Tomes and Grims at least.
Fuck Grims. I hate Grims.
I love Grims.
Really? Grims are fine. I have no problem doing Tomes and Grims.
The big problem for me with Grims is I play a tank character. I play the dwarf. I have to take the damage. That damage, like the first Grim I can deal with, like it's not that much. But the moment somebody picks up the second one, and I've already done a run with two Grims, and I'm down within the first 3 fucking hits of a fight because I'm up front with my shield, I'm holding the line, and I get hit once and I'm down because there's so many guys and no one does damage enough at that point. It's actually straight up frustrating because it's like, God damn it. Oh.
You gotta get that. There's an effect that gives you temp health on kill.
Yeah. Oh no, I know which effect it is. It's, I need,
Just gotta get yourself some of that.
I need to get it, but I'm not at the point where I haven't even unlocked the Ironbreaker, which is the first one to get. And I really want to get Slayer as well, because Slayer should be like Slayer is a berserker, and that's the reason why I'm like.
Yeah, when you get Ironbreaker, he gets a really nice passive that helps you reduce damage.
The fucking base active ability fucking sucks. I'm gonna drop a smoke bomb. Why though? You're a ranger. You should be pulling out like a fucking flame grenade and tossing it at someone. You're a fucking ranger. God damn it.
He needs to make a getaway, brah. He wants to be stealthy.
The dwarf rangers from Warhammer Fantasy were not stealthy.
Funny watching Allan get mad about this.
I just wanted to say that that's good that you get more items on your drops now, because before it was a very huge slog of like, hope I don't get fucked on this one item. Hope I don't get fucked on this one item. It's like, ugh. And
on top of that, it tends to be like, other than like the trinkets and stuff like that, the items tend to be for the champion you are currently equipped.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the other great thing is no matter like whatever champion you open that box on is the one you're getting items for. And it's just like, thank fucking God for that. Because like wasting a trinket slot to just guarantee, like not even guarantee, like just increase the chances that you're going to get an item for that character was just like, why?
Game design.
I mean, it was also their first game. I mean, you can't fault them on that one. They tried at least.
I mean, to be fair, you look at a project so close for so long that it blurs into whiteness and you don't know what you're looking at anymore.
Yep.
Yeah.
So really, hindsight is always going to be 2020 because you're looking at so close, you don't have that. So it's like, well, we'll hope this is a good decision.
Well, that can be said about like a lot of things. And again, you look at good games. Like a good example is Warframe, actually, like from what Jeff is going to talk about here in a moment. Like you look at Warframe. There's like when it initially launched, there was an ability in the game to do like a sliding dash jumps stab, but like the keys were spread as far as you could make them on the keyboard for one hand, and it was so hard to pull off because you had to hit them in immediate secrecy to get it off to work, and it was like it's a really cool ability. Holy fuck, is it hard to pull off? And like, it's a fantastic pull off, but the problem with that fantastic pull off is that it's a 3-second thing that does a little bit, and it's just like it's not like the payoff wasn't worth it.
Yeah. Then everybody had Excalibur at first, and Excalibur was fucking dog shit.
I thought they fixed that, but
Well, no, they've definitely refined their system since then and have reworked Excalibur, obviously. But I mean, I'm just saying, like when that game first came out, and it's like you only have one ability, and it just tickles mobs, and it's just like, all right. And then Warframe abilities back then were just like not good at all. So it was just like you relied on your gun like 90% of the time, and Warframe abilities were just kind of like just there. But you know, obviously now it's way different.
They were a thing that happened. That's how I. It was a thing that just kind of like happens from time. Whereas with the new setup, like the abilities make a big effect with what's going on. Whereas what I've noticed with like. But the thing is you've now got power creep where like people mostly just play Tauros, and I'm like, well, why would you just, like? You should make all the abilities like fairly capable of being played with, because if you don't, then
well, it depends on what kind of content you're going for.
Yeah.
Like if you're doing high risk, index, like obviously you're gonna bring Rhino because of the mechanics of index. But then like. Yeah, you can bring a super tank Rhino to a sortie, but that doesn't mean you're going to clear that sortie.
That was the thing, though. That was the thing I've noticed is like I've talked to a few like players for the game, And they're like, no, like Rhino is like what you'll get through 90% of the game on is just using the Rhino suit. And
well, you can,
yeah,
but you don't have to.
I know, but like but like the way they've put it is like it's strongly recommended that you do it that way because then you can actually like do good and get away with it. And I just it's weird to me.
Well, that's just for efficiency's sake. Like I think I have 12 different frames that I use them all. I don't even have Rhino anymore. Yeah. So it's just like I want to get Rhino Prime. Of course, it costs like 440 plat, but
Oh, frick. I tell you the story of how Warframe in general thought I was a whale. So they kept giving me more and more. Like, I forget what was the coupons they kept giving me, but it was like really good coupon deals. And I was like, oh, I happened to get the 50% off one. Okay, I'll get the biggest one they have. And that one's like, turns out to be like $80 or something like that when you get with the coupon. So I was like, cool, I'll get that. And there must have been a switch somewhere on their server that goes like, oh, this guy used the coupon and everything to buy the highest deal one. So therefore, whale. So every time I open up the game, it kept giving me the fucking coupon over and over again. And I was like, it was almost the same coupon too. And I was like, how is this happening? I thought this was rare. Like, what the fuck? And I was like, I think there's a switch in their server to say I was a whale and to just keep giving me the fucking coupon.
My favorite story about Warframe is I tried to get in. I've been told it's a lot like 40K and stuff like that, like the lore and stuff like that. It's a lot like 40K Warp and stuff like that. But I'm like sitting there, I'm playing it. It's like this game doesn't interest me. But what makes it even funnier is I'm playing with Rory, Stefan, and another guy, and he's like, we're gonna help you power through the early game because it's fucking boring. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I start playing with them, and I'm watching like how this is going, and I'm just not having any fun because I don't get to do anything. I don't do any damage, and they just hit one shot everything that they see, and I'm just like, oh, well, okay, guys, thanks.
That game to me is like the game that like I'll play like every once in a while, and then you just like murder people left, right, and center. It's like, I am a god, you are nothing. Fuck you. Versus,
I've hit the point where like I have enough of like all the different types of mods and they're leveled up, and like I have enough, money and all this other stuff that it's like I want this. I go and I get it. I max it out, and then I'm like, all right, on to the next thing, and I just keep this loop of just like getting an item, making it good, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get the next item, and like I kind of like get these benders where I'll play it for like a week or like 2 weeks straight, and it's just like, fuck. I just spent like every day grinding Warframe for like 12 hours a day.
That's why, well, again, I play World of Warships, and my grinds can be painful. There are days where I start doing my daily grind, and I stop and I look at the screen when I'm like, after doing like a really good game but promptly lose, I just stop and I stare at the screen, and I'm like, this is how this is going to be. This is how today's going to be. this is how I won't lie, I had a monster of a game in a tier 4 ship that I'm trying to grind to get the tier 5 ship in, and I'm just like, I'm doing all this damage. I'm keeping like 4 or 5 ships all bottled up in the top right hand corner with another ship that's a tier 4 ship, and we're just holding this corner. He blows up. I just keep punching out. I'm like, I will go down swinging, motherfuckers. Come at me. And I just start wailing on anybody who comes close to me. And then I get killed. And I'm like, I did good. And I look at how much damage I did. And I'm like, for tier 4, that's respectable. That's actually pretty good. And then I leave the game and I go play the next game. And I come back and my ship is still in game. I'm like, we were winning that when I left. Like, we were the first 2 ships to be destroyed. What's going on? And then I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to go play the next game, where I just promptly got throttle stopped. And I was just like, okay. I came out and I look down and I just see, like, Kaiser, my ship is back. And it still has its win chance for the first day of the win EXP boost. And I'm like, motherfuckers. And I looked at how I was so mad. I was like, no, you wouldn't. And it did.
That's why I can't play those World of games. Like, I tried playing World of Tanks. I got to tier 6 in World of Tanks, and it's just, I cannot do it anymore. Like, it's just, every game is just brutal, and the grind is just so
Tough.
so fucking bad.
The grind is better in World of Warships because the average winnings for the average loss winnings that I've gotten is at least on average what I've seen is about 500, and the average winnings for if you win the game is about 1,000 to 1,300, somewhere in there if you do well. And that's how the grind is mitigated. Like for me to get to tier 5, for me to get from tier I can't say that because every time I've tried to go from tier 4 to 5, I've had shit luck. But I'm playing a ship that I've had for maybe 2 weeks, and I'm already almost at tier 6 because I just fucking manhandle everyone I meet apparently.
Yeah, I also end up playing ships that are or tanks that are just not that great to get to the good tanks. So I was on the T40
Oh god,
in the Russian tree
suffer
a month.
forever.
I was on that for a month, and I was just by the time I finally got off the T40 and got to what was the T45 is the next one, and it was still just as hot garbage. I'm just I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, it depends.
I just gave up.
That's the reason why. I when I started playing World of Tanks back when I used to play it, I played exclusively British tanks. I started down the heavy and the medium lines, and I'm not gonna lie, grinding through those tech trees is even worse because the British tanks are all about the British medium tanks are all about being mobile and shooting, whereas the heavy tanks are all about being frontal assault tanks and having just so much armor that you just turn your tank ever so slightly and you just bounce nothing but shots off, and then you turn your tank the other way, you bounce more shots. But getting to that point is insanely hard. It's like grab, bite the pillow and close your eyes, but going and dry, the kind of thing. It's that hard. It's a painful grind, and I got up to tier 6 with both lines. I got to tier 6 with the new British tech TDs when they came out, and I loved it when I hit tier 6 because I was actually a capable tank at that point. And then I started noticing that what tiers I was playing, where it was tier 8, and then all the Russian tanks are haha, we've got dirt cannons, you can't stop us. And I'm and then I just stopped playing.
I enjoyed the tier 3 and tier 4 British light tank.
Oh god,
those things just whip around and have good turrets on them. They turn fast, they aim fast, they fucking blast everything. But you hit tier 5 on those, and you're just this thing is a piece of shit.
The Cromwell's the Crusader's a fantastic tank. It is actually a fantastic tank for tier 5. The problem is it should be a tier earlier, in my opinion, because it's the way it's set up is it's meant to just basically fight tier 4s, and it's just not at all. It's just really not good enough to fight tier 6s and 7s like it's set up to do. But then you look at tier 6 with the Cromwell, and the Cromwell's haha, I could actually do things. And then you get in a tier 9, and then you get in a tier 8 game with it. You're fuck, no, I can't.
That's the problem with the light tanks. They bump you up because you're supposed to be fast, and it's
no. The tier 6 British tank is a medium tank, so it doesn't get bumped up anymore. And the Crusader used to get that extra bump up for being a light tank, and then they fixed it where it was you only go up against tier 7s like normal. That's your max is 2 levels. Normally it's 2 levels up. But scout tanks or light tanks always had the thing of. They used to always have the thing of you're a light tank, you get to move up 3. You have the possibility of moving up 3 slots. And they fixed it with the Crusader where it was only yep, you can only go up to tier 7 now because. It should have been classified as a medium tank, but it was put in there as a light tank, and I don't know why. But that's beside the point. But we need to change topics. Jeff wants to talk about the thing he wants to talk about Warframe about, though.
Well, I was just going to say that Warframe actually listens to their fans and removes gambling services like most companies and stupid ideas. So, this is a good topic.
Wait, there was gambling services in Warframe? The only thing I remember is the mods bundle that you can buy, where it gives you just random mods, but it's guaranteed to be rares or whatever.
It was like a service where basically you could spend $1 on changing your pet's fur,
Oh, okay, okay.
And then they were like, some people were spending like $200 just to get the fur that they wanted. And then they were like, oh dear God, what have we done? So they removed it from the system. And I think that this is a good line to say that Warframe actually is a really good game. I respect them immensely and stuff like that. And after hearing that, I respect them 10 times more.
Did you also hear that people were saying that they wanted a separate accessories pack to buy from Prime Access because a lot of people already had some of the Prime Access, they had the Prime units, but you had to buy them again?
And then they were listening.
Yeah. Yeah, they were like, they even asked what price point they were willing to pay. So like Reddit was like, all right, we'll pay like, $45 for just an accessory pack. And they're like, all right. And then they put it out for $45 this time. So now when they put out new Prime accessories, this one, there is a literal separate Prime pack with boosters in it, with just the accessories. And it's like, holy shit, I can't believe they did it.
I can. Warframe to me seems like the game that a lot of people love and stuff like that. It's like Destiny, only not as shit.
Destiny is fucking terrible.
Fuck you. It was a good game.
It was a good game.
It was a great game. Tears of joy.
What?
Anyways.
Hello?
Oh.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We all went silent because like we heard somebody like cut out for a minute. We're like,
Whoa.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Then Josh is gonna sit there and say like, hey.
Yep. Then I'll be like, Pokemon.
So.
I'll run that again?
Nah.
So Ben.
Yeah.
You like Warframe still? Still better than Destiny?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I have only ever played Destiny 1. It's because I rented it back when it was vanilla. I played it for 2 hours and then sent it back, and then I never went back. I've been playing Warframe since the original beta. I got back into it around, I think it was like update 17, and I've been playing ever since.
Okay.
So I think I've only spent $25 on the game. And I have, how many hours do I have in this fucking game? 578 hours.
That's a hell of a value.
Yeah, for $25. I want to give him more, but like, I don't have any money.
That's an unfortunate event that I heard about.
Oh, I spent Steam money to buy some of the Tenogen stuff, which I think is actually like another really fucking awesome thing that they do. Because you know how there's the Steam Workshop?
Yeah.
You can post things to the Steam Workshop, and what they do is they'll go through and they'll find the top rated things, and then they'll contact the creator, they'll get the raw files, and then they'll have their developers take it into the game, clean it up, and process it to put it in the game, and then they put it in for Steam dollars, and then that creator gets part of the money from the item that you purchase in the game. And then that's their Tenogen thing. So like people make stuff for the game and then skins and stuff, and then they polish it up and put it in the game for them, and then give them a percentage of the sales.
That sounds like a pretty good deal.
I think it's a good deal. I get to support the game and the guy that made the skin. So it's like win-win-win. And I get a fucking sweet skin.
Almost like Monopoly or the paid mod situation. Only better.
See, you say that, but like...
You say that.
True.
It's not... I don't conflate it the same as Fallout because of the better pricing point, I guess, almost. That and it's just like the rate that they put it out, and they have so much more community interaction with it than just, oh, we're going to take on some modders, and then we're going to make them sign NDAs and shit, and then they're going to put out a kind of mod for like $5.
yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the big problem with Fallout and them trying to, or at least Bethesda's method of like, hey, we should get these modders in on this thing. It's like, well, you're trying to do is add a $sign to mods, which like in first place, people are going to complain because people have to pay for these mods. But at the same time, it's like, should these people should get paid for them? Yeah, they should, because they put a lot of effort in it. But it's like, it's already for free. How can you put a price tag on something that's free? So it's like it's kind of a lose on their end, because like it's hard to do. Just hire the people.
You know what
Just
else
hire them.
makes it a really huge problem? Every time they update the Creation Club, it breaks every other non-paid mod. So you can't actually like mod the game and then update it when the Creation Club updates, because then it breaks everything.
Yep. And that's the thing. It's no matter what. It's a lose-lose situation for Bethesda.
They should just not do it, but like they're trying to milk it because they see the same thing with Skyrim, where they're just like, we can milk Skyrim into the freaking ground. They're trying to do that with Fallout.
We're like, give us a new Elder Scrolls that is not online.
Yeah,
pretty much.
And honestly, I don't know.
So I saw a trailer for Somerset today, and I was like, oh, this is great. This would be great. And then I saw Somerset Elder Scrolls Online. I'm like, motherfucker, you can't tease me with a griffin. I'm not buying this game. Oh, I hate it. And like, actually, one of my friends can 100% testify to this. Is like, if a game has like griffins in it, like, again, this is the reason why I liked Overwatch when I first saw it, is I saw like one of Reinhardt's skins and it had a griffin on it. I'm like, I guess I'm playing Reinhardt. And I've joked about it all this time is if you want to get me to play this game, even if it's bad, even if it's like mediocre, put a griffin in it, and I will play it. But the thing is I hate MMORPGs. I hate Memorphagas, and I hate them with such a burning passion that when I saw that, I hate Bethesda all the more, because I want to play it because I've seen griffins in the game. But I hate it all the more because it's this MMORPG, and it looks like this really cool setting. But you know what? It's mass multiplayer. Why should I play mass multiplayer? I want to have my own personal experience. Fuck off, Bethesda. Oh my god.
You could kind of tell that who's calling the shots is dude from accounting and not necessarily dude from game design.
Pretty much.
It's what it feels like in most of the major companies now. Like EA and stuff is just like, hey, we want maximum profit return. So how can we make massive profit return?
How can we gouge the consumer even more?
I mean, here's the funny thing, right? It's like, if EA didn't make Star Wars Battlefront 2, like, nobody would be, if they made it free to play, nobody would have complained, right?
If they thought of that mindset in the first place.
It's like, nobody would have really given two shits.
Nope.
And like, that's the funny
because
thing,
that's
right?
what's expected in the mobile market now.
Yeah.
But now that they've brought loot boxes to such a head, it's almost endangering
gaming.
Mobile as well.
Oh yeah.
Well, it was almost in danger of actually banning some certain types of video games in general, because the law that was happening was Hawaii or whatever.
Hawaii and the Netherlands.
The way they've written it is like, okay, anything with this random loot table, it's kind of banned out in general. And it's like, wait, you mean any RPG in existence is banned?
I mean,
no, I think
like,
what the way they're writing it is anything that is purchasable with actual money that has a random element will be considered gambling, and they want to give it the AO rating from the ESRB.
And that just kills games. And that's the problem is a lot of the current, like, again, I harp on Call of Duty from time to time, because as much as I like the old franchise, I hate the new franchise. And I look at it, it's like, no, the progression system in that game makes sense. And I accept that. I like that. But I look at games like Battlefront, Battlefield 1 actually was actually pretty bad for this too. Battlefield 1, like any game where those proper loot boxes where you as you level up, you have to earn these things, and it's just like, well, no, you want your players to enjoy the game. So what you're doing is all your game is set up to be, here's all your skills, and a game like that where it's like set match setup, like where it's again, a good example is Battlefront 1 from EA, which is, you've got the Battle of Hoth where the rebels are expected to lose, you should set the game up so that the Rebels and Imperials have even footing for gear and stuff like that, but the Rebels have less access to resources in the long run for like playing against like the Imperials. So they have to actually like manage themselves a bit more properly. Whereas like the Imperials, we have the AT-ATs. We're just gonna steamroll you guys. And that's how you do it. You just balance it out like that. But the way that they did it is, as you leveled up, you unlocked better weapons. So you'd be like even as an Imperial player, from what I saw from a few games that I watched of the Battle of Hoth, again, gear made all the difference on who won, and it was really, really frustrating. And that's the reason why I didn't agree with it, because it's like, oh, well, I've got this gear, so I just one-shot you with this blaster, or I pre-order the game, and I'm just like, yep, that is a bad game design. And then it came to a head with Battlefront 2, with as you go through these loot boxes and unlock things, surprise, you get better and better gear. What?
Surprise,
motherfucker!
And that's the reason why the entire community felt so goddamn alienated afterward.
I mean,
well, if you looked at the actual win-loss rating for the Battle of Hoth, like during the beta, it was like 80% Imperial win.
Yeah. And that's how
that was just because you had to use extreme teamwork as the Rebels to win. Yeah, and even then, like, I still think even with the gear, you would still lose 80% of the time.
Yeah, but that's the thing is, that's the reason. Again, the Battle of Hoth is a game mode that the Rebels are supposed to lose, no matter what. You are ultimately going to lose if you don't work together. But the problem with it is they didn't incentivize working as a team in that game, and that's the reason why you had all this problems with this game. Is like there are clear objectives in the game, but everybody's focusing on getting kills.
Yeah.
And that was the big problem, and that's the big problem with what happened with Battlefront 2, Battlefront 1 with the Battle of Hoth and stuff like that. Or the games where, like, you're going to lose because you're playing X faction. So you just
but almost every game has that problem with the teamwork aspect, because even in Battlefield 1, they were saying that they were having a hard time getting players to capture the objective, so they overloaded the points that you gain from capturing objectives to so that players would actually go on the objectives, and players still didn't do it.
Yep.
And it's because what players want is they want kills, and it's just like,
well, that was the problem.
I don't get it.
That was the problem. Is you the way you need to do it is that's the reason why I agree with the Overwatch setup for the Overwatch gameplay setup is the rewards at the end of the game are usually for doing teamwork stuff, rather than doing, like, you'll sometimes see the most kill streak up there from time to time. But, like, you'll mostly see, like, did the most healing, did this. But like, with Battlefield 1 and Battlefront and all that stuff is you just see, like, constantly, like, you look at it and you go, well, I guess the setup is basically, like, you want to do kills because it gets you more experience. And that was the problem, is the more kills, the more experience you got out, the more, like, the better your score looked, is because they scored the system based around kills and points captured, instead of just based on, like, no, your objective is to capture. You should, like, kills shouldn't matter. Like deaths should not affect, like, the gameplay counter for capturing the area. But that's what they did, is, like, they affected the, like, if you had, like, 100 points to 100 points, for you to win, you need to kill 100 enemies. Well, sure, capturing the area, it gives you extra points back, or takes some points away from the enemy team. It's easier just to kill a player than to capture a point. So why would you focus on going for the objective? And that was the problem. That's what I noticed. Is even though they front loaded this, like, super, super hard, it was, yeah, just a really bad. It was just a bad setup in general.
So, let's move on to another topic. We can talk about other things. Ben, do you want to talk about something?
No, I didn't. I didn't prepare like usual.
You come in here.
We never prepare. So just let you know, we just walk in here, go, what do we want to talk about? And we were like, I don't know. I did some shit, I guess.
I mean, we honestly talked about the only thing I've been doing for the past couple of days, which is Vermintide and Warframe. So,
okay. Do we want to talk about Pikachu amiibos being directly injected into Josh's veins?
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's huge! Holy shit!
It's a huge amiibo.
wow, what the hell?
Oh, did you see the Dark Souls amiibo that's coming out for this thing too?
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dark Souls amiibo's coming out too.
It's Solaire.
Solaire.
And I'm like, I'm getting it now. Fuck me.
And the only thing that it does, it's doing the pose, and you can get it early in the game, and that's all it does. It's doing the fucking like praise the sun pose for the Dark Souls game's gonna be eventually coming out for it,
yep.
And it's great, and it's gonna be immediately sold out anywhere because everyone wants one. I mean, everyone.
Yeah, I do want one of those, and I don't even have a Switch.
I'm going to.
Yeah, exactly. It's like even people who don't have a fucking Switch will want this goddamn figure. So it's gonna be like. It's going to be so hard to get. So hard.
It's just disappointing to me that the fact that, like, they're probably going to go through the entire shit that, like, most amiibos go through. Where it's like, all of them will get sent to Connecticut or Timbuktu, and shit will happen.
Yeah. Or hell, there's the last time I was looking up like, like, you know, you try to buy some certain amiibos online and you're like, well, shit, like it says I could get them online, but then it says no. Then you're like, okay, so where's the next available amiibo? And you realize like, okay, if I drive 8 hours out of my way, I could maybe get the amiibo here. Maybe. Like, oh god.
All I know is if because I know we have an EB Games here in Edmonton, a few EB Games here. I'm going to ask, like, hey, so what do you know when Solaire is coming out? And if they say yes, I'm going to go, okay, I'm pre-ordering it.
No. See, that's the thing. Since the earlier amiibos, they're getting fucked so hard on numbers, they never do pre-orders now for the amiibos. They never do pre-orders. So it's first comes, first serve. So good luck for other 5 guys who are going to camp out for that fucking thing.
I will do it.
I want to see the guy. I want to see a news report of a guy who's standing in line for like a day for like getting that a fucking amiibo. I want to see that. Like who's standing there 24 hours early just to make sure he's going to get that fucking amiibo. Like, I'm pretty sure that's going to happen, and it'd be hilarious.
You know it's going to happen.
Oh yeah, exactly. Because I mean, Dark Souls is like the new like, oh, are you cool, dude? Or did you play Dark Souls? Well, they're not a cool dude unless you play Dark Souls.
I mean, Dark Souls was a fun game, but then again, I was playing with a buddy, so that kind of like taints that point of view.
I
think it makes it a better game.
I played with people, but my first playthrough was like solo. So
yeah. Well, that's the thing I've noticed is like it depends on what you're going through.
And also, there's the Shovel Knight amiibos are supposed to be coming out, but go figure when the hell those things are coming out because it's way past the due date they're supposed to.
They've already come out, Josh. You just picked up.
No, I've been checking on the subreddit, and they're like, yeah, we don't know either. And they're like, okay, I guess they've just either canned it or just waiting for the perfect time, which is, I don't know what it could be the perfect time for.
They announced Shovel Knight 2.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, probably. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it at all.
Mm-hmm.
Or just waiting for the rest of the DLCs to come out, which is possible because one of the 3 that are going to be coming out was Propeller Knight, and Propeller Knight has his own DLC, and King Knight. So they're probably waiting for those to just pop right out.
That would be appropriate, because then you could sell all types of Shovel Knight amiibos.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So, Frank, I remember the last time that they announced Shovel Knight amiibo, I actually went on Twitter and I at them. What's the name of the company? Yacht Club Games. I at them going like, so how many babies do I have to sacrifice so I can get a Shovel Knight amiibo? And they're like, please do not sacrifice any babies for getting this amiibo. And I was like, oh, so you telling me there's a chance here?
You're telling me that if I kill 5 people, that might.
So I guess that was like my next tweet was like, oh, what the hell am I gonna do with this baby?
Oh man, you're just asking for it there.
I mean, Josh is already going to hell. Like, it's okay.
I'm surprised it didn't block me. Really, I'm just super surprised. Anyway,
Somehow you still have a Twitter account.
I somehow have a Twitter account.
I mean,
it's amazing
that we all have a Twitter account, right?
I don't. I don't have a Twitter account. I don't
You're
even use my
intelligent,
Facebook.
man. You're intelligent.
Yeah, you're a high intelligent person right
Being the
now.
smart one.
We're the Twitter. Oh, what's that meme? The Twitter
shitpost often.
virgins. Yeah. No, we're the Twitter virgins, and he's the non-Twitter Chad.
Yeah.
That's so bad.
Oh, it chopped up that meme real hard, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Oh yeah, just let's do it. Chop up those memes. Make new memes out of those chopped memes. Ugh. Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
And that's the end of Amiibo talk.
Thank God.
Fucking Amiibos.
Thank God.
So you have Bridget from Overwatch put down there, Jeff. Does that mean you like her or you dislike her?
He wants to fuck her.
Of course. Clearly, I
mean-
want to fuck her.
You clearly want to fuck her.
Why not?
I don't. So, in my time of playing her, like, she's never going to be as good as Diva in my head. Because Diva's just so good at everything. And
Is it weird? I want to fuck a robot.
No,
this is so hard to ask. I just fuck a robot.
Don't fist androids.
I mean, Josh's favorite character is Orisa, so
She has an ass that doesn't quit. Okay, just doesn't quit.
my personal opinion is that Bridget could be better.
From what I've seen of her is
She either rocks house or she's terrible, but she needs another healer to go along with her.
yeah.
From what I'm hearing is she's gonna be like a meta changer
She's
because she's like
definitely
that good.
Like, the big problem with her is that whenever I play her and stuff like that, she's very dependent on like what your team comp is, who your team comp is, like who is playing who and stuff like that. So like if you're playing Diva, you don't want a Bridget healing you. You want a Mercy healing you and then a Bridget healing everyone else because you're going to be taking 90% of the damage.
which is fair.
Whereas, like, if you're playing Bridget, what you want to do is you don't want to have a whole entire team being Symmetra. You want a team being more consistent of soldiers and players who have some sustainability, like a Reaper or somebody like that. Because what's going to happen is that eventually, as they're going down and stuff like that, you're still pumping them full of heals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is like, she can be very destructive as a champion or a hero, but she's not the be-all, end-all.
She lacks the sustainability of the standard healers of Zenyatta, Lucio, and Mercy.
Yeah.
Ana is actually burst heal, so and a lot of people.
I would say that she's more of a burst healer.
Yeah, she's a burst healer, so that you pump on to like keep a player going when it's just suddenly oh shit they're down to a certain point. Pop pop.
I will say this though is that like in my playings of her, like I don't like a lot of her abilities. I like the shield bash. I like the mace and stuff like that. All of those abilities are great. The only thing I really don't like about her is like this is Torbjorn's daughter. So when you have a Torbjorn in the match, like the Torbjorn says nothing and she says nothing. It's like, yay guys, good job. Nothing like oh, it's nice to see my daughter right here.
They probably couldn't get the Torbjorn voice actor back in because, I mean, you have to schedule that shit.
I know. I'm just like, eh.
It is weird that there is no lines for the both of them. That is strange, but it's probably just a logistics issue that it didn't happen.
Yeah. And the other thing
I'm actually gonna look this up right now just to confirm if there is no voice line.
The other thing I don't like about her is that, like, I will be, like, she's so tanky, and it's so easy to play her like you play Reinhardt, but you can't. You really can't. And so,
you combo her with Reinhardt. That's something I've noticed too.
No, you don't even do that. What you do is
from what I've seen is you combo her with Reinhardt, and what you do is you run your shield when his shield gets low. When his shields get low, so that he can, like, his shield can drop, recharge for a second while you tank the damage for him for a second. Then he pumps the shield up. You swap behind him, pump some armor into him, and pump some armor to the other guys too.
See, maybe I've been playing with so many bad Reinhardts, but every single time I will run up in order to take damage, he immediately runs the other way. So it's like, like, I am stuck, like, and all my team just flees away with the Reinhardt, so I'm, like, left by myself, and the enemy just circles behind me. I'm like, great, I can't survive. Hooray. Hooray. But, like...
Hooray.
I don't know. That game needs something. Like, it just seems like the player base has gotten worse and worse as time has gone on, to the point of where, like, I will be playing the game, and I will literally have to carry everyone on my back.
You mean like how some people consider GG get good?
Yeah, and then, like, lately I've been playing, like, games with, like, golds and stuff like that, and it's like, it's nice not having to carry people, and instead being the one feeling like, I feel like I'm being carried now, and it's like, oh, this feels nice. Like, I'm used to, like, playing with Josh, and me and him, at the end of the match, being both, like, top tier, like, on the screen, and one of us getting play of the game.
Yeah.
And it's like
it's almost like that community actually doesn't,
understand how
doesn't actually
competitive shooter works.
It isn't actually, like, isn't actually a competitive community.
The reason I quit is just because of how toxic everybody is. I was getting into Diamond, and it's just the toxicity levels get so incredibly high that, like, it's impossible to make a single mistake without the entire team just railing you out for the rest of the match.
Yeah.
Especially as a support player. It's just like, oh, you're a support player. Oh, you got picked because somebody didn't fucking do their job. It's your fault for dying. And then they just blame you for the rest of the match. And then you just play worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And then you lose. And then you lose all your SR. And you're like, well, that was totally great. I just played this game for 20 minutes to get yelled at by fucking 4 other random people. And then to lose my rank.
Yeah. Like,
so I quit.
Like, I just play it for Mystery Hills now. And it's not even... Like, I will be Diva, and I will be like, hey, I need healing and stuff like that, and the Mercy will, like, literally run over to me and then heal somebody else. I'm like, thanks. Like, really? Good job. Like, you're entirely what I would sit there and say is, like, a terrible healer.
Actually, what makes it really funny for me is a lot of people fail to realize that, like, I understand for, like, if you're playing competitively, you're going to run into toxicity no matter what. I hate to break it to you, that's a thing. But I do agree,
yeah, of course.
I do agree that, like, the toxicity in the upper levels of Overwatch kind of started getting ridiculous. But I do know for a fact that for the most part, the league, like, a lot of people, like, say that, like, Overwatch is just nothing but toxicity, and I disagree because I know for a fact that I've seen, like, people who aren't in Diamond but, like, in the level above it. I think it's Masters, where they're just, like, the nicest people. It's for some reason you hit Diamond. And, like, and that's the constant thing for Blizzard games is it's Diamond, where, like, you just run into all these toxic players because they're trying to get all the way up to Masters.
It's because people
and they think they're the shit.
Yeah. I like how we said the exact same thing.
And they are actually some of, like, the worst players I have ever seen. Like, that's something else that I noticed that is a lot of people fail to catch on to is how they do it is like, no matter what, like, this is the reason why I can't get behind Overwatch anymore, is because the way it's set up is just so bad for like competitive play is the way it's like you rotate characters, and it's just like that's not a good competitive league because you just immediately adapt, and like it's not a good play because players can't know. Like that's the reason why like I prefer League. Yeah, I know League is toxic.
League is the worst community on the planet Earth.
No, it isn't.
Second
It
best
really
to.
I think almost
No.
any MOBA is worse. Actually, any online competitive format. There you go.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, but the thing is like the reason why I say, I look at League and I go, it's a better setup is because people will have mains where they're like, I prefer to play like this because I'm just naturally better with this character. I'm naturally better with this style character. And they, like that's the thing. But the problem with Overwatch is because you can switch characters, you have to have like 5 or 6 good characters you can play as. Because you can't be just one role. That's the reason why I like League is because I play support and I can play top. Those are the 2 rules I need to know. So I have 3 champions bottom and I have 3 champions bottom. And my top, and I have 3 champions for support and I have 3 champions for top. I'm okay with my top champions, but I don't need to prioritize them because my main role is support. And I have my 3 characters and I know how to play them well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and that's all you need.
And like, I'm just gonna say this right now is stuff like that is like, we said this during the Anna show and stuff like that. It's like people who sit there and say, it's like, I will be playing Mystery Heroes. And it's gotten to the point where it's like, or like No Limits recently. I've been playing a lot of No Limit recently because I'm like, hey, I want to try Bridget and stuff like that. I will end up on a team with like 3 or 4 or 5 Symmetras, and I just know we're gonna lose. So I don't even try anymore. And it's just like, fuck this stupid game. Anyways, my final thing I'm gonna say on Bridget is that like, I really hope that like it doesn't go down and stuff like that. I think that, like, I hope they add in some new characters and something like that. I hope that they add in another character kind of like D.Va that fills the attack tank role before. But, yeah.
Well, I can't wait for my Orisa body pillow to show up.
Of course, you have a body pillow. I actually looked at a bunch of body pillows, like, 6 or 5 months ago, and it's just filled with, like, Tree, D.Va, Tracer, and it's like, wow. Hey.
That's not it's not weird or anything.
No, and like the reason why I was looking at it up and stuff like that was because I wanted to get a mouse pad. So somehow Amazon took me to the body pillow section.
Are you gonna get one of those like D.Va butt ones where it has the 2 squishy bits as their butt?
I thought about
Is that what you go
but,
for?
I thought about that, but like my worry is like I'll have a girl over and they'll see that and then they'll be like, in their head they'll think like, man, what is sex with?
Nowadays, you're more likely for that. I was going to say, you got to get the one that comes over season and it's like, yep, and then stays. That's the one you want.
Yep. Or the one you want is the, you get the Greninja, or not Greninja, is it? No, it's, I'm saying the Pokemon, not the fucking Overwatch character, which is a ninja with a sword. Genji. Get the Genji mouse pad where the butt is the cushy bits for your mouse or for your wrist. Like that one's the best.
I'm going to say something that's probably really funny and stuff like that. I almost got like there was one mouse pad that almost made me like I almost bought and stuff like that, and it was all of the ladies of Overwatch lined up and stuff like that, and was all focused on their butts, and then they were all wearing underwear, and I was just like. Yep, like, I should buy this just for work, you know? Like, I should just buy this, put this on my desk, and as soon as we hire, like, a female or somebody like that, like, they'll come in, see that, and they'll go like, yep, great, fuck.
Weed the week. This is how we weed the week.
Weed out the week, you know?
Hope you don't mind this weird mouse pad thing. No, it's a weird mouse pad thing. I don't care. Cool. What about this dildo in the roof? You care? Why is there a dildo in the roof?
It has to be a bad dragon dildo
about
too.
The dildo in the roof. Answer the question.
Lots of bad dildos.
So like, oh, don't go to the storage room. There's like 6 dragon dicks in there.
All sitting on a shelf, like glass case, everything.
I'm not talking about the little ones. I'm talking about like the fucking 12 inchers.
Yeah, they're just sitting in a glass
I'm talking
case.
about I'm talking about the horse dogs.
Oh my god.
I don't know anymore.
Can you
It's
imagine,
just-
like, going into that room just by accident, noticing what is missing?
Poor Anthony's like, oh my god, where have we gone?
Oh,
Can you
I
imagine
swear,
just
if
going in that room, like Josh or Allan, or going into that room, opening it up, noticing one of the dildos is missing, and then, like, closing the door and going, like, I just noticed one of them is missing. Like, imagine the conversation that would happen after that.
I would be gladly going up to people, being like, look, if you want the dildo, you can keep the dildo, but we have to know, are you using the dildo? If yes, you're not in trouble, you're not losing a job or anything, just tell us, and just so we know where the fuck that thing is.
You know,
just you're not fired, you're not dead or anything, just, are you? Just, I'm curious. I'm just curious at this point. How was it?
Oh jeez.
oh my god.
welcome to the filthiest podcast on the internet.
Fuck.
And banned from iTunes.
Yeah, we're banned again. Yeah, high five, everyone.
I honestly
Good job.
Nobody has ever going to ban us.
Because there's way worse people, apparently. Oh God.
Oh yeah. Can we start that right about the way worse people?
Yeah, let's talk about the way worse.
Oh boy.
Let's do it. I'm ready. My body's ready.
My body's ready.
Hold on, let me turn on my DS. Hold on. Yeah.
Because you're not gonna get another word in. Is that why?
I just phase out and exist out of existence. Like I went to a parallel universe. That's what I usually do. I mean, what, you can't phase out into the parallel universe? I mean, I can.
I'm gonna try hard enough.
Well, Allan, Count Dankula was recently sentenced for making a joke about Nazis.
Oh no,
I
the
guess you
sentencing
can't
isn't
make
until
jokes
April.
about Nazis
No.
anymore.
He has been found guilty. He has been sentenced. Well, okay, he has been sentenced as guilty for being grossly offensive, for telling a goddamn joke that not even the Nazis went after. Because just so everyone knows, back in 1941 or 40, there was a dog in Finland who, whenever you said Hitler, it would raise its paw, and everybody found it funny. The Nazis, who were the Finnish allies during the Second World War, because the Finns got attacked by Russia, were like, "Hey, yo, so is this actually a thing?" They approached the owner of the dog. It's like, "Hey, it's actually a thing." And the owner's like, "Well, he only does it when he's around family members, and it's only on some occasions." And so the Nazis were like, "Okay," and so they started harassing him and like started bothering him for 2 months. And then after 2 months, they just stopped, because a lot of people think that Hitler got involved, because it's just like they were harassing him, and it just stopped. And the rumor has it that Hitler got involved because Hitler's an animal lover, and he loves dogs. So a lot of people think that he might have just said, no, it's funny, leave him alone, it's okay. So in other words, currently England is more Nazi than fucking Nazi Germany. Because making a joke where your dog raises its paw when you say "Sieg Heil" in the context of "I'm trying to piss off my girlfriend, and this is for shits and giggles," warrants being arrested and being charged. And,
Oh, context doesn't matter, because even though he states in the video, they said, "Nope, you willingly made a joke." Doesn't matter.
No. It's not even that. The judge actually said the context of the thing doesn't matter. We believe that you meant it for anti-Semitic reasons. That's what the judge said to him.
Yeah, it's a load of fucking shit.
And I'm listening at I'm just like, what the fuck? How is that a thing? Like Like, does that mean Monty Python's one where the guy inherits all his Nazi memorabilia, like a grossly offensive crime now that he has to be arrested for?
There's one with Mr. Bean dressed up as an SS officer doing exaggerated goose step.
Yeah, does that mean does that mean he's now like grossly offensive? Like, what the fuck? And so, like, I'm just like if anybody from England's listening to this, write to your constabularies, write to all. Like, I'm adamant about this. Like, this is like an assault. This is an affront to like free speech, and it's a black mark on history. How the old liberal way of England. That's like it's so painful to like think about, because like suddenly like I make a joke. I don't know if I'm going to jail or not because I made a funny joke. I made a haha. I make a joke of like Allah Akbar. Boom. I make that joke and I go to jail because I make a joke. But yeah, it's.
I just, you know what, like, it's so fucked.
Did you know that judge also found a homeless man guilty for possessing a firearm when he possessed a plastic toy gun?
Yep. He also didn't jail an actual like a proven
admitted pedophile. He admitted it.
Pedophile.
So it sounds like the judge is like mainly the problem in this circumstance here, not the fucking court, the judge.
He sounds like a goddamn moron.
I would say so.
Yep.
It's like he didn't get a jury, he got a single judge, and the judge is the most like seemingly corrupt piece of shit I've ever met. No, not met, but seen. Like, I mean, there's gotta be some.
There's a line. There's a line.
Jesus Christ.
It's just horseshit. It's all horseshit.
The worst part is the precedent that has been set for this is the fact that the court can just throw out context and it literally doesn't matter. It's like I was watching a couple other YouTubers. There was one guy. His name is Top Hat and Champagne. He lives in Australia and he's German. And his wife is British, and their son is in Britain right now, about to have a kid. And he's like, his wife wants to go back to be able to be with the son and the kid. Well, he's like, I can't go because of my YouTube channel. If I go there because I criticize Islam, I can be jailed now. He's like, and I definitely can't go back to Germany because I'll get jailed immediately just for entering the friggin' country. He's like, I can't go back to my homeland. He's like, I'm living in exile now. And it's like, you're living in exile from Germany and Britain. And it's like, that fucking blows my goddamn mind. It's like, how can you be in exile from what, like, two of the places that are all about Enlightenment values? Oh.
It's all horseshit and stupidity, and we can sit there and talk about it all we want. But we have to sit there and look at ourselves in the eye and say that, like, did Count Dankula do something wrong? And the answer is no.
No,
he did not.
He did not. He made a joke.
He made a joke. That's all he did. But, like, this is the problem with, like, offensive humor and stuff like that, is that eventually, like, there is a line. The problem is that now we're seeing the line being moved back repeatedly. And it's like, okay, like, we can no longer joke about Nazis. We can no longer joke about Islams. We can no longer joke about terrorists being idiots. We can no longer do this. We can no longer do that. It's so absurd to me that, like, this entire culture is sitting there and folding in on itself and being like more 1984, more authoritarian than ever before. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, honestly, the way I feel is as long as the joke is funny and in good taste, there is no line.
Yeah, like this is all ridiculous. This is just, it's stupid. It's
personally,
really stupid.
I want them to just be.
You wanted it to be rolled out like at the first thing, and like the lawsuit to literally be thrown.
It's what it should have been. It should have just straight up thrown out.
That's exactly what it should have been. Is that going to happen? No. If anything,
I do kind of hope though that they do turn around and eventually just like go to like the equivalent of the British Supreme Court and just like challenge it that way and throw it out that way, because that would be just great. In my opinion. That would just change so many things.
Yeah.
I do hope his appeals go well. What's really gonna get me is if he gets like maximum sentencing. Whoo boy,
he's got a year. The maximum sentence would be a year in jail, and the minimum would be a house arrest.
I thought it was 6 months is the current one, because they wanted to bump it up to hate crime, which was a year to 6.
No, the hate crime would have been a minimum of a year to a maximum of 5 years.
Yeah, that's what I mean. 1 to 6 years or whatever. Yeah. So I think the maximum now is 6 months in jail for I forget what it's called. It's like hate incited or something. I don't know. It's something with an I. Insinuated or something. I don't know. It's under the Stupid Communications Act from 2003 that nobody fucking knows about.
Yeah, it's really dumb.
It's so stupidly broad too. It's like I was actually listening about it earlier. It's the intent of creating hate apparently is now a crime. It's like,
so
wow.
Every feminist is guilty of that.
Pretty much, and it's honestly probably just being used to punish people like Count Dankula because they don't like him, because he's edgy, because he holds views that they don't like.
It's just, yeah, like, it's stupid. It's all.
It's a.
It's
a shit situation, and I'm so sad that he lost.
I really do hope that like because there are actually like a few people in court who actually like are like in the British Parliament who are like, no, we need to talk about this, and people are like, no, you don't. Like free speech doesn't mean hate speech. And it's like, what was about that was hate speech was the comment, and it's just like, well, okay, it's like nobody, and it's the reason why I think the States has it right, where free speech means that you can be you are above being like deplatformed and stuff like that. That's what it means down in the States. And it's protected.
Yeah.
But
it's protected to a point, because there are laws for inciting riots and violence and stuff.
Inciting riots and violence. That is the exception. So if you have a call to arms where you're like, no, we should go out there and kill all the cops. No, that's where your free speech ends, because you just called for like the murder of people.
Oh, actually, apparently it doesn't, as long as you're BLM, because they've been calling to kill cops the whole time, and they don't get arrested. I know. If you're a minority, you're completely A-okay. You can say whatever the hell you want.
Surprise if you're white, straight, male. Your opinion doesn't matter anymore. It's not that we didn't build this liberal society for the great Western societies that everyone wants to come to for everyone. It's not that we put all this effort into making like this great like system of checks and balances and stuff like that. No, it doesn't matter, because hey, you're because you really don't deserve to have like these great you didn't do anything. You stole from all these other people. It's like,
yeah, now we get to use a terrorism act in order to block a white girl from coming into Britain.
Great.
Yeah, you guys know about that, right? Because she's Canadian.
Oh.
Yep. Lauren Southerns can't go into Canada either.
Yeah.
She can't come into Canada anymore?
No, not Lauren Southerns can't go into England anymore because she's been dubbed a terrorist, and it's just like,
oh yeah, I was gonna say that. Yeah, the other two YouTubers, they got together with Lauren, and they're suing the UK.
Yep. That's the right thing to do.
I cannot wait for that case to end. It's going to be so good. It's just like they blocked Lauren Southern, a Christian, but they didn't block the 100 jihadis that they welcome back with open arms.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
If I lived in Britain, I'd be looking to move right now.
A lot of them are. A A lot of them are.
The worst part is it's right on the tail end of Brexit because oh man, it's not a good time. Like leaving the EU is probably a good choice, but it's a bad timing with the internal politics.
It is a fantastic time to leave the EU right now because like the EU is on the verge of straight up collapse. There's no way of saving it.
Italy is even talking about it. Like Italy, they've been so pro EU for the longest time, and all their prime minister and everybody is just like, you keep doing this, we're out. It's terrible.
Yeah.
What's also sad though is if the EU collapses, I can almost guarantee that Greece is going to become a third world country. They're already on the brink of it.
Greece, Italy, Spain, any of the a lot of the southern states where like the debt is mostly accumulated in is where like a lot of the problems are going to a lot of them are going to become third world countries, and it's kind of fucking disappointing because like you look at some of these countries and you're like, shit, you feel just nothing but pity and sorrow for them because you're like, you guys are getting fucked.
Portugal's going to get fucked real hard. They've been having a real hard time as it is already.
Yep.
And it's just like the whole EU is just in shambles.
It's going to be great when it all falls apart.
Not really, but it's definitely needs reform because everything's tied up in bureaucracy and the whole like being forced to take on migrants, and it's just not a good time. Not a good time.
Yeah. Anyway, I got this funny picture. It's going to make you guys laugh. Going to make you guys laugh. And is that everything?
I've already sent that one. No, yeah, I think that's it. I think we can just call it there for the night.
Josh, summer's almost here.
That's great. That's perfect. I'm looking into my other Discord.
Josh, summer's almost here.
I'm back. What's going on?
You missed everything.
Oh, okay, that's good.
So summer's almost here, Josh.
Surprise, Josh doesn't want to actually have a political opinion because he doesn't like it fucked in the future.
Summer can go away. I don't like it.
Care.
Josh,
Anyway.
I can't wait to work in the lumberyard. Just like how
I can't wait.
Just like how if Ben moved to Canada, I would not be upset.
Sure.
It's a good thing. It's Mustang season, Josh. It's sports card season.
Yeah, it's summer season. Things are. My yard is gonna pick up, and it's gonna be fucking shit. But hey, we're hiring new people, so it should be that bad. And also in the summer, there's the lull in video games. So I'm gonna say, like, when that lull happens, are you gonna pick up a MMO, or are you gonna pick up free to play? What you gonna do?
I'm gonna pick up a Switch. And I'm also going back.
I kind of want to get a Switch too. There's that thing when you go back to school that we can possibly do. We need to talk to Chris about, but when you go back to school in the summer, if I can save enough money, I would get a Switch as well, because the Switches look so enticing. Although the single second I buy a Switch, it's gonna stay docked. I'm not gonna take it anywhere.
Yeah,
because the thing is, the thing's so expensive in first place, I would be so fucking paranoid to take it anywhere.
Yeah, same.
I would have to have like a carrying case and all that other shit for it before I'd even consider it. And I'd only probably take it like to somebody else's house. I wouldn't ever take it like out in public.
Yeah, exactly. Like freaking, like if it's not for like a very specific trip or like, oh, I'm gonna go visit someone's house or something, it's like, why would I even bring this anywhere? Because it's so fucking expensive. It's like,
yeah, I don't even take my phone out of my pocket unless I like kind of have to. Like, I don't want to take my 3DS out of my pocket either to like play something while I'm sitting at like out somewhere.
Actually, Actually, I'm a little more braver than most because I leave. Basically, when I get to work, I put my 3DS up on a table on our freaking shack that we have. I put it up on a table. I put a measuring tape on top of the D-pad, so I can auto walk my character in Pokemon, so I can grind for shiny Pokemon in Gen 2. So it's sitting there on an open desk with a door that doesn't fucking open properly, that you have to rustle it open. But anyone in the fucking planet could probably steal my DS, but it's still there when every time I come back to be like, okay, I'm done with this customer. I go back to the shack and my DS is still there and working away. I'm a little braver than most.
That is
but the only reason why, the only reason I do that is because, well, if this thing somehow disappears once, I don't feel like I'm in the hole that bad. The only thing that would suck is oh man, I don't know how I'm going to get these video games back on my system, because the way Nintendo treats their freaking online service is fucking arcane as shit. I mean, they're getting slightly better, but oh god, I just want to re-download my shit again. Just let me re-download my shit.
Yeah, they're not used to it yet.
I just can't wait until I get a Nintendo Switch. I bring it to school and use it every day.
Yep. Oh,
So I guess we're gonna call it there, eh?
Yep.
I guess so.
Thank you guys for listening to the Black Mind Podcast. Everyone involved. Thank you, everyone who joined the show this week, including Ben. I'm being pinged actively by my friends right now, and I'm just... Fuck, I unplugged my mic.
Mic rape.
All right.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Fun times.
Everyone, you can listen to us on every Thursday on Podbean.com, YouTube, and other places. Have a good night. 142.
You mean like what everybody does in that game?
Yeah. You will feel my scorn. You will feel my scorn. You will feel my scorn.
Stop licking me!
Well, good show.
Good show, good
You
show.
feel my scorn.
Apparently now that if you spam hello or LOL in Overwatch, you can get banned for it.
People are actually calling for GG to be a bannable offense.
If I shoot those people in the back of the head, do you think, if I apply a Dragonov to the back of their head, do you think that would be a bad thing?
I meant no comment on the matter.
Well,
I mean,
I'm recording.
fair,
I'm not making any comment on the matter.
I just think
When it
that, at some point, natural selection, we have moved past the point of natural selection that, we should
Do you want to
just
know why? Do
perform,
you know why they
need
want
to turn up your mic,
why they
too.
want it banned though?
Why?
Because they think GG means get good.
and
I
even
told
more reason for me to apply Dragonovs to the back of their heads.
What makes it even funnier is I told it to one of my friends, Christina, and she's like, it sometimes means get good. I'm like, no, it doesn't. And
Get good.
It's never meant get good in any sort of the context. GG has always been in gamer culture, good game. The BM is when you see get good. That because you will type it out because you're so bored with this fight that you don't even need to pay attention. You can type out a long sentence. GG has always been good game because it's quick and easy to put in.
That's
Yeah.
I'm
I can understand her argument because it's like, well, GG. I'm like, I get that, but GG has always been good game. That's the reason why the BM version of GGEZ is always like a BM move to do.
no. I do.
And to be fair, when it comes to playing an Overwatch and you lose multiple times, you just look over and I just try not to just look and chat at fucking all, because anything they say in there, I just get pissed off at. It could be the most nicest things ever. It could be like, oh man, I really liked the kid who was playing on, I don't know, fucking playing, I don't know, let's say I was Widowmaker for one match and I should have played well, and the guy's like, oh man, that Widowmaker actually did some good shots there, that was pretty good, and I still be so fucking pissed. I will not give a shit.
Well, that's actually more related to the fact of I did all this work and it meant nothing. I lost.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is it's a bitter feeling, but it strives you on to do better next round. I hate people who are like, oh.
I think people have made the argument of, man, I wish you get some sort of creds of some sort when you lose other than XP, because it's like the game should. I don't know why it doesn't.
No, it shouldn't. You lost.
I think it should, but
okay.
no, like temper, like it could be like really fucking small.
No. You don't understand. I played hockey, and whenever I lost a game, I felt like shit too. And you know what I learned? Every time I lost a game, I learned, what did I do wrong? I did this wrong. I did this wrong. I learned from my loss.
That's something that most of these people don't understand, Josh.
And what you
I'm saying afterwards, after the game, of like, I'm just trying to get my fucking boxes and I didn't get anything out of it.
Then you really shouldn't then.
I was Josh on this one.
No. Why should you? You lost a game. I lose my and in the other games that I play, which I have multiplayer games, if I lose a game of World of Warships, even if I did really good, they benefit you for doing good jobs, yes. But the thing is, you still lost. You're gonna get less. You still.
Hey Jeff, when we're doing game design decisions, we'll just leave Allan out of the room. It'll be fine.
Here's my thing: is that like we need Allan in the room, because like if I'm designing a game and stuff like that, that's how you get the Tim Hortons microtransaction system.
I mean, no, it's because I'm more logical in the sense of like, hey, when someone loses, she should get at least 10% of what the fuck ever.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Allan. Okay, Allan and Josh, both of you are right. Both of you are right. Here's the question I would ask: are you playing competitive or not?
No. Why would I?
Then you don't deserve it.
Yeah, in competitive, I would sit there and say that if you lose, you don't get anything because you as a team failed as a team.
Yeah,
and casual and stuff like that.
I would agree with casual, but the thing is the argument for the context with the way that you're arguing there, Josh, is you arguing, I lost, I should still get something though because I did all this work. No, you shouldn't. You get what you get. You lost. Here's your consolation prize. Come back, be good next time.
Here's what I'm thinking is like, I'm thinking about the Siege system, and the way the Siege does it is like, here's credits to get stuff and stuff like that. Here's credits to get stuff and stuff like that. But like the problem with Overwatch is it's so driven on the loot box system that you would need the XP system still there. So in my personal opinion, I don't think that like I don't think Overwatch does the best progression system.
It really doesn't. I think the progression system is too slow, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, if it's even going to be comparable to, like, let's say people winning games versus people who are losing constantly, the progression system feels like it's literal 10 cents in your face. And it's not like the full $10 other people are getting. It's like, I wish I could do better, but it's like, well, fuck me then.
Well, no, but that's the thing is if you actually compare, like the loss ratio to the win ratio, just the win and the win to loss, it is actually about 10%. The differences also come in with the number of gold medals, silver medals and stuff like that come in and play afterwards. Yeah. And that's the thing is you are getting like these extra points for doing good on your team, like turning around and going, hey, I just did this thing. You just did the most damage of the team. You blocked the most damage, and you get gold. That's the thing. Every gold coin counts for the same across winning and losing. It is always gold is 200, silver is 100, and bronze is 50. That's how much extra EXP you get for each one of those things.
I just wish that, like, what they would do is that, like, if I have 5 fucking golds in the fucking match, Like, I'm sorry, but that should be the fucking main thing showing up there. Is like, this person had 5 fucking goals. He carried the fucking team. God fucking damn it.
They do that.
No, they don't.
No, they don't.
They really don't. They don't do
really
it.
fucking
They don't do it often enough. When they do it, it's like, oh, like, you have 5 goals, and, like, your entire team's sitting there being like, yeah, I had, like, a 20 kill streak. I blocked 20,000 damage. Just, like, versus, like, when, like, you get 5 goals, it's like, huh, I basically carried the team, and the only reason why I didn't get, like that little plaque was because I got 20 kills instead, and didn't die once.
Yep.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Ben's not joining us. Oh, shit.
All right. Are we gonna do this now?
That was like 3. That was at 3 a.m. I'm retarded. Oh god, Ben's gonna hop on in like 20 minutes, I guess. Okay. Fuck it. Let's sync. In 3, 2, 1. Hello, welcome to the Black Mind Podcast. We might have a special guest joining us later because he's busy freaking out right now.
Oh boy.
Joining me also, but instead, let's focus on the people who are here.
10 out of 10 there, Jeff. Good job.
I'm busy. Well, we might have to redo this entire thing. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
If he's gonna be on in 20 minutes, let's just wait. I don't care.
Yay! Let's play Overwatch instead.
No. I'm sorry. I've given up on Overwatch because, like, oh my god, the staff is getting retarded with the fucking rules and stuff like that.
I have never seen a company, like, not understand the way that you make a shooter game. And the only close analogy I have to it is, like, Rainbow Six Siege, where they'll pop up and say, player has been banned by Blood Ally, player has been banned by Battle Ally, player has been banned by toxic behavior. And that just makes me wonder, like, what is toxic behavior in Siege?
Actually, that's the thing is, like...
But, like, the toxic behavior in Overwatch is like, oh, this person sat there and said, do you know the way? You don't know the way. Wait, you have to have a bullet to know the way.
No, that's the thing is like, the rule for, like, toxic behavior or, like, wrong thing. And I have joked that, like, Overwatch has become to the point of being, like, wrong thing. And then I heard what they were planning to do. Like, people were requesting GG. I'm like, holy shit. Oh my god.
Well, it's just people don't understand culture. Keep in mind that this is, like, this is something that I've said in the past. It's like, people don't understand certain cultural things. Like, they don't understand that GG means good game. But now I just really want to just start writing get good whenever I win a match. And getting banned. Hey, Ben.
Hey, Ben.
I was, that's better than what these guys did.
I saw 7, I assumed 7 p.m. because I was like, whatever. And then I saw Rory's comment. I was like, no, that's a fair question. That was actually a fair question.
That's a fair question.
Like, I was up at that time. Like, I was up that morning at that time when that like, at 7 o'clock. So I would have been like, fuck yeah, let's go for it. I would have been all for it.
To be fair, Allan also is like a military dad.
Eh.
Will the hard drive work? Probably. Hope. Either that or Ben's getting a hard drive sent in the mail.